check and second stimulus package. And this is Purple Power Live. And I see Nancy in the room, and there's Dave and there's Lisa. I'll have some big updates tonight on where we are from congressional leaders on your negotiation for your second stimulus check and second stimulus package. Then I'll be turning to your state stimulus because this is the video every night where I answer your questions on air about your state stimulus. That's state stimulus checks, state stimulus rent, state stimulus utilities, state stimulus food, and also gifts. Gifts during this holiday season. By the end of this video, you should have been fully informed about where, how, and how much you can get for rent, utilities, and food. You should be fully informed how to get that money, how to get it right now, and where to go get it. If you're tuning in live while this broadcast is live broadcasting, then in the chat, at the top of the chat, I put a pinned comment that you'll see in blue highlight, has a direct link to the LALATE community page. It's news.lalate.com/community. If you click that link, presumably it does not close the video. It sends you to a new page, and that new page is the community page. The community page has the volunteers. If, after you follow the advice and the information you learn from this video about how to get this money, you cannot find it yourself, then you can reach out to the volunteers. But you should be fully informed how to get this money in this video. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to go over the state stimulus money for you. So I'm going to go over. I'll go over the federal government first with the stimulus check first, and then I'll turn to state stimulus. But in the meantime, get a pen and paper. If you're in a room and you have me on the volume up, get a pen and paper ready so you can write down where to get state stimulus for you, for rent, for utilities, and more. That'll be coming up in a few minutes from now. First, let me turn to Congress to prepare you for what's coming up tomorrow. Who knows? We just don't know. There's a congressional shutdown of the U.S. government on Sunday evening. If they did not get this done, it does not look like they're getting this done. There is a line in the sand that has been drawn by a guy named Toomey, and he's about to put the entire deal in the tomb. Toomey is literally putting Mitch McConnell in the tomb with King Tut. And Mitch McConnell had a couple words about the tomb and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. I hate to remind you, but isn't the Temple of Who told you about the Temple of Doom? Well, the Temple of Doom has met Toomey. The Temple of Doom has finally met her match, Toomey, who's putting the Temple of Doom in the tomb. No joke. His name is Toomey. That is actually his name. And Romney had a comment about Toomey, and Mitt had a comment about Toomey, and said that Toomey is really is singing the right tune. That Toomey's tune is correct. That you need this provision in there. The Temple of Doom herself said that Toomey needs to go back in the tomb. That the provision needs to be killed. It's killing the deal, and that Toomey is loony. Someone just said I stole that from Antonia. That's working good on pace. You're picking up the viewers' comments to make it part of your show. Toomey, Nancy, the Temple of Doom says Toomey is loony, and she's not going to move on the Toomey tunes. She said you need to dance to another tune because this tune is out of tune. Mitch McConnell, I don't know where he got his vernacular, his way of talking, but this is what Mitch McConnell said about Toomey tonight. There's kind of a gravitational pull here in Congress. Unless we're careful, all major negotiations can slide into an unending catalog of disagreements. I don't know where he gets this stuff from. Does he watch too much Dateline or something? Where does Mitch get these lines from? The gravitational pull is going to throw you into catalog of disagreements. Wow, it just. I think he wants to narrate Harry Potter in the next movie or something. Then there's Chuck Schumer, which I wanted. Where's Chuck? Where is Chuck? Chuck had the comment that I just love. Oh goodness, I don't have it ready. Oh, here it is. Here's Chuck Schumer's comment. You know what Chuck Schumer's comment reminds me of? It reminds me of that movie called grouchy old men. You remember that movie that came out during the holidays several years ago, maybe about 10 years ago, where they're just grouchy about everything and they want to go eat? This is what Grouchy Chuck said, and I love it because it's actually true. Republicans need to make up their decision. We're quickly approaching an all or nothing situation. Everyone needs to make up their mind, make up a decision about whether we're going to pass this much needed relief or not. It's about 11th hour demands, and we're not worth holding up the entire bill for this silliness. Oh, Chuck, give him some Melba toast. He's hungry. Give Chuck a graham cracker. He's hungry. Chuck is a little grouchy. Chuck is also auditioning. You know what Chuck is auditioning for? He's auditioning for the Super Bowl advertisement for the Snickers commercial. You first have Chuck Schumer saying that, and then you have him eat the Snickers bar, and he says, "He's never this grouchy when he eats a Snickers bar, Chuck." That's basically Chuck Schumer. I can just see Nancy giving Chuck Schumer the Snickers bar, the commercial. Yeah. Can I get some residuals if you do that? I just know they're going to use my idea. I'm not going to get a penny for this. But yeah, Chuck Schumer sounds like he's from the Snickers commercial. It's just, oh my goodness. Nancy Pelosi, her comment, was not as entertaining though. Hers was, it's a way to say to Joe Biden, we're going to tie our hands no matter what comes down the pike. Earlier today, Nancy says, we're close. I don't know if I can flip through it fast enough on camera without holding up time running element, but there is that quote from Joe Biden that came out on Wednesday. Oh, I got it. I understand that the negotiations may have looked differently on Wednesday, but in true regards, the negotiations were a hot mess on Wednesday. They did not have a deal on Wednesday. They did not have a bill on Wednesday. But this is what Joe Biden said about the negotiations on Wednesday. The stimulus package is encouraging. What's encouraging about it, Joe? The $600 really encouraging? What's encouraging? The no retroactive FPUC, giving up 30 weeks of FPUC. What's encouraging on this? It's encouraging that Chuck Schumer is going without a Snickers bar. That's what's encouraging. It's encouraging that Nancy Pelosi is going back into the revival of Raiders of the Lost Ark by going to the tomb of the Toomey. What's encouraging in the stimulus package? There's nothing encouraging in the stimulus package, Joe. And then he added on it. Joe said, it looks like they're very close, and it looks like it's going to get done. How close is close? Close, and just. I think California is really close to Delaware, don't you think? California is very, very, very close to Delaware. And then he says, it looks like they're going to be direct payments in there. Ooh, great. There's $100 stimulus check in there. Oh my God. Call up Harris. Let's celebrate. $100 stimulus checks in there. And then he says, period. But you know what he's going to say. Can you finish the sentence? Let's see if the viewers can finish the sentence. What does Joe say after the but? But it's... Can you finish the sentence for Joe? What did Joe say after that? Let's see how good you are. But it's a... What was Joe's... How did Joe finish the sentence? But it's a... Can you guess how he answered the sentence? I bet you... I see one answer. I see two answers. I see two... There, y'all got it. It's a down payment. It's a down payment. But it's a down payment. Don't worry. It's a down payment. It's a down payment. Everyone's getting it. It's a down payment. Don't worry. It's a down payment. I don't know. I feel like making t-shirts of this, every time the government just messes up. Don't worry, government, it's a down payment. I want to does anyone want to send Nancy like a half a scoop of ice cream? Just like this much ice cream? Like it's, get one of those Ben and Jerry containers and there's this much ice cream and where's the rest of my ice cream? Why'd you send me it's a down payment, Nancy. Down payment. Just, live with it, Nancy. It's just down payment. Or send Mitch instead of the whole lobster, just send Mitch like half of a claw. It's like, Mitch, it's a down payment. Don't worry. It's a down payment. We'll take care of you, Mitch. It's a down payment. I did, I, that, and he does it all the time. It's just one of those expressions that's really getting on my nerves every time he says, don't worry, it's a horrible deal, but it's a horrible, but it's a down payment. It's a down payment. The good news is that we don't know what it's a down payment on. Tell me yes or no. Have you seen the provisions of the multiple stimulus check bill coming in January? Have you seen the provisions? Yes or no? Have you seen the provisions of the multiple stimulus check bill coming in January? Yeah. Have you seen it? Yes. No. 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 You haven't seen it. No. You haven't seen it. No. No. You haven't seen it. You have. Oh, you haven't seen it. Oh, no. No. You haven't seen it. Wow. I haven't seen it either. No. You haven't seen it. No one has seen what this is a down payment for. What is this a down payment for? It's a down payment for something we have no idea what this is a down payment for. It's just like we're sitting here and just, it's a down payment for yeah. It's a down payment for something. Not quite sure what it is. Um what else did Joe say? Oh, he had more to say. Joe had more to say. It's very important to get it done. And I compliment the bipartisan group on working to get it done. I compliment them on getting it done. That was Wednesday. Thursday didn't get done. Friday didn't get done. Saturday didn't get done. Let me see. They haven't gotten it done. So, as Toomey says, we're not moving. So, so much for the bipartisanship. And Nancy said, we're not moving on the Toomey tube. So, I want to compliment on Nancy, not on holding her position on the bipartisan agreement. I want to compliment Nancy for being bipartisan and not agreeing to the Republican provision from Toomey. I want to congratulate Toomey for being stubborn and leaving that partisan provision in, because that shows really good working together. Oh Lord. So there you go. Did they get the check cleared? Did the check clear? No, the check did not clear. There is we don't know. So there you go. With that, that's your update for your second stimulus check. There is no deal. There may not be a deal. The only thing that really has changed since noon till this afternoon is that while we started to hear about Toomey in around noon, about 1 o'clock, then what happened by the end of the day, I admit it's Saturday. Most of these broadcasters don't have news staff on news reporters on staff unless they own YouTube channels. The news reporters channels don't have a lot of news reporters on staff, but the mass majority of news channels are now putting Toomey as the lead story. So they're not talking about stimulus checks anymore, which is not good. The stimulus check story from Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Saturday afternoon is not the front page story anymore. Now Toomey is the front page story. What I miss? What I miss? And so there you go. What will happen tomorrow? Looney Tunes will continue tomorrow, and who will say? It's looking very likely that it's either going to get killed, or they may extend it one more time and then say, gave our best shot, and then Nancy will come out and say, Mitch is killing you. Nancy with the poster. And introducing Mitch killed you. And then Mitch will say, wish list Nancy. Nancy has a wish list Nancy, and there's wish list Nancy. And there you go. Tune in for that same bat channel tomorrow. Let's turn to some state stimulus. By now, I presume you have a pen and paper. If it's a $600 pen, because that's all they're going to give you. Get ready for some states that people are getting relief from. Let me first do the nonprofits. The nonprofits where I will mention the state, and then I'll mention the nonprofit. When I mention the state, I may mention the state again later in the conversation. It's going to start with Texas, but I'm going to mention Texas again later in this list. So get ready and write it down. In Texas, people have gotten paid rent on this channel from St. Mary Magdalene. In Kentucky, they got rent paid from community ministries. And last night, a viewer tuned in to Purple Power and said, I got paid from community ministries after you told me that people in Kentucky got paid from community ministries. So that was a repeat. I call a repeat. It was a repeat last night. New Jersey, we've had a couple repeats for United Way in New Jersey. Last night we had a repeat for Community Action in Ohio. So let me say that again. In New Jersey, someone got paid for rent from United Way. In Ohio, got paid rent from Community Action. In Massachusetts, got paid from Interfaith Social Services. Phoenix got paid from TCDC. In Alabama, got paid from 211. Delaware from State Housing Authority up to 10,000. In Texas, one of the counties in Texas, Fort Bend County, got paid by Catholic Charities, but I had someone last night that had a repeat, got paid by Catholic Charities in another county in Texas. In California, lots of counties viewers have gotten paid from Catholic Charities. Rhode Island viewer got paid from Rhode Island Housing Authority. Another viewer got paid in Rhode Island from Crossroads. Also in Texas, a viewer got paid from El Paso, Texas, from Project Bravo. Another viewer got paid in Texas from calling 211. In Delaware, one viewer got paid by calling 211. Viewers have gotten paid heating oil by Heat. They got mortgage assistance from Chase when they're with Chase. They got rent assistance from City of Dallas by going to cityofdallas.com. They got rent paid in Georgia from United Way. They got rent paid in Nebraska from United Way. They got mortgage assistance from 877 Get Hope, which is a division of United Way. They got rent paid in Arizona by New Leaf, and New Leaf also paid for utilities. They got rent paid in Michigan by Salvation Army. In New York, they got rent paid by One Shot. In Pennsylvania, they got rent paid from United Way. In Kentucky, they got utilities paid by Community Action. In Las Vegas, we had a repeat last night. I had been telling you for 2 weeks to go to Clark County Services to get paid in Las Vegas. And last night, a viewer said, I got $4,000 or $5,000 from Clark County Services in Las Vegas from watching your channel. In Indiana, we've had a lot of repeats from 211 and IndianaHousingNow.org. In Delaware, someone got rent by calling 211. In Texas, someone got paying rent by calling 211. In Philadelphia, there's a big stimulus package there. And Mississippi, we've had viewers get paid rent from 4 different organizations in Mississippi. Those 4 organizations are Mercy House, Home Saver, Salvation Army, MSHDA, Eviction Diversion. Did I say them all? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me say it again. Mercy House, Home Saver, Salvation Army, and MSHDA, Eviction Diversion. Meantime, there is a rent stimulus across the entire state of New York now. I've been telling you it's coming back. It is now in place across the entire state of New York. There has been one in place for most every county in Florida: Broward, Miami-Dade, Orange, Palm, West Palm. There has been one in place in Houston, but that is back in place again apparently. But viewers are still getting paid by Catholic Charities in Houston. A viewer got rent paid by San Bernardino, California's Housing Authority. Viewer got paid from State Housing Authority in Alabama, State Housing Authority in Louisiana. Viewer had got big rent in New York, New Jersey, West Virginia, Massachusetts have been some big successes. There's a rent program in the city of Atlanta, rent stimulus. There's one in the city of Harrisburg, one in the city of Nashville. There is one in the counties of Georgia, like DeKalb and Gwyneth. Finally, these are where state stimulus checks have come, will be coming, or are pending to potentially come. Some of these have restrictions. You may not all qualify for them. Some of these may have been paid out before. Orange had one on the 17th this week, 1,000. They had one for 1,200 before that. Austin had one for 2,000. Maine 600. Colorado 375. New Mexico 1,200. Oregon 500, North Carolina 335, pending Pennsylvania, pending New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts. New York is not pending anymore. It's actually out. New Jersey, I was told, is out. Virginia and Delaware. Escambia County pending, Fort Worth County pending, and Gadsden County pending. Michigan was pending, but Michigan was announced today as well. I detailed that earlier today in this broadcast. Michigan is just paying money left and right. It's not always for rent though. A worker can get up to $1,650 as a stimulus check. That's for a worker. A small business can get either $15,000 or $20,000, and then there's money for frontline workers as well. That was announced just this morning. There's a big rush for these states to send out this money. Next, if you did not hear your state announced, let's say like Montana, for example, then consider these charities that have been paying rent in so many states across the country. They are Community Services, Community Action, United Way, Salvation Army, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. For utilities, any of your utility companies you call up, and those utility companies um, are paying utility assistance. So everything I just covered there was generally rent stimulus, except when I went to the state stimulus checks. But utility stimulus, you can go by contacting the same organizations. Also, you can call up your utility company. Last night was an example that utilities are very, very easy to get paid. And I had an example of St. Louis last night where there was four different people in the room from St. Louis, and four different people got paid from four different organizations in St. Louis for utilities. St. Louis is a place where rent is being paid, but in St. Louis there was four different people and got four different organizations to pay their utilities. With that, it's very easy to understand that utilities is an easy one to get paid. Utilities is generally anywhere from about $300 to a couple thousand. Rent is generally about 2,500, 3,000 to about 20,000. It's most likely usually in about the $5,000 range. And then the state stimulus check is usually the measliest of the bunch, usually anywhere as low as $300 or $500. Finally, for kids' toys, if they're 16 years of age or younger, United Way, Salvation Army, and also Toys for Tots. Um, we do have a problem finding toys for anyone older than that, but reach out to the volunteers. Again, the volunteers, if you're joining me in the live, they are in the pinned comment up to the pinned comment of the live chat at the very top. It's in blue. But if you're watching this taped after it broadcasts, then go to the first pinned comment, and it's from LA, and the pinned comment, you open it up, it says in it community page, news.lalate.com/community. If you've not subscribed, pre-subscribe. Go to the first channel, subscribe. Also, hit the alert button so you have an alert when a new video goes live. I'm adding new videos and new series at different times, and more lives here and there. For example, I have a new series now, which is between mornings and lunchtime, where I bring back an old video, generally about either UI or EIDL. So I give you help on how to apply for PUA, how to apply for UI, how to do escalated benefits, older videos from a few months ago. I look a little different. And tomorrow I think will be an EIDL retroactive. There's so many of those. They're really, really helpful videos. And I appreciate the watching of them as well. And with that, let me now answer some of your questions. Can you tell me how I get money? So where are you located, Ricky? Tell me where you're located. Hello from North Carolina. Where's our stimulus check? There is none yet. Nevada, Clark County, if you're in Las Vegas. Can Trump do executive orders? He can do executive orders. How do we apply for state stimulus checks? So in the case of rent stimulus, you apply with the organization, or utility stimulus, you apply with the organization, sometimes calling them up on the phone. In the case of the stimulus check itself, which I don't think you should be excited about, you don't apply. It will be automatic if you are eligible for it. Boy, the comments are going really fast. Um, Still hunting in North Carolina, says James. So if you're looking in North Carolina and you have problems, reach out to the volunteers. Ohio. I detailed Ohio. There is rent stimulus in Ohio. Um, do you have to call EDD to get escalate benefits? So for EDD, you need to provide the paperwork. So remember, the word escalate benefits is just between you and me. We don't use those words with third parties because they won't know what you're saying. So you mean for to raise your benefits, you need to send them the paperwork. You need to send them the 2019 tax return and the cover letter, whether it's email or in the portal. And then after you do that, call them on the phone. I got a similar question like that earlier today. Always call these people on the phone. Call them, call them, call them, call them. Someone earlier today said, I said it, I haven't heard anything. I'm like, you're supposed to keep on calling them. You gotta keep on calling them. PA stimulus. I haven't looked that up. I'll look it up for you. I keep on forgetting to look that one up. There was supposed to be a very big PA stimulus. Harrisburg, of course, has stimulus. Hazard pay, nothing yet. That would come in January. Why doesn't Trump do executive order? I don't know. I don't know. The vast majority of the viewership of this channel believes that had he had sent out an executive order stimulus check, in October, when I told him to do so, we all knew if you had gotten the stimulus check about a month before, that would be the big window of opportunity. Most of the viewers believe he would have won the election had he done his executive order of a stimulus check in October, and he would have won the election. I don't know what. I don't know why he didn't do that. Um, is anyone giving Christmas dinner? That's a great question. There's a lot of shelters that are doing a Christmas dinner. So if you need help with something like that and you've looked it up, that's probably a relatively easy thing to look up on your cell phone. But if you can't find it, then ask the volunteers. The volunteers do help with things uh, like shelters, evictions, and things like that. Is New York still pending? No, New York went live. New York's rent assistance stimulus went live. Is New York still pending for state stimulus? No, the rent stimulus in New York is live now. Kentucky, I detailed. Community ministries. I think if you're just joining me, because wow, we're up to 1,200 viewers. If you're just joining me and you missed your state early in this recording, you can rewatch this after this video is archived, about 5 minutes after this video is archived, and play it back. I'm going to the casino. Hazard pay not happening anytime soon. Oh, if you're asking about hazard pay for states, it's very rare at this point. Would an executive order help us out? Yes, absolutely, absolutely would help us out. Is Pennsylvania still doing stimulus? It reportedly was. Um, is it only rent stimulus for uh, New York? Yeah, rent and utilities, absolutely. As I've said on this channel, I don't ever believe there's going to be a stimulus check from New York, California, or Texas. So please, if you're in a major, big state, don't ever think you're going to get a stimulus check for your state. A state that has millions and millions and millions of viewers as citizens. Just don't bet on it. But rent stimulus for New York, that's God-given gift. You should be jumping up and down and praising the Lord. That is incredible because they did one before. I'm shocked that they even found the money for this. So do not hold your breath for a state stimulus check in any state, let alone big states like New York and California, and Florida. They can't fund it. They absolutely cannot fund it. When we talk about Oregon, when Oregon did their stimulus check in Oregon and they did it for people $45,000 at last 2019 earnings, you know how many people that was? It was like less than a little corner of LA City. It was so small. It wouldn't, the number of people that is dwarfed by even the entire city of LA. So these are states that don't have enormous populations that are doing these things. But California, New York, and Florida and Texas will never do a stimulus check. Never, ever, ever do a stimulus check. They'll do rent stimulus, they'll do utility stimulus, but don't sit back waiting for a stimulus check. And of course, you should never wait for a stimulus check because the big money is rent stimulus. Um, Rent New Jersey, yeah, there is. Viewers have gotten big money in rent for New Jersey. Someone's asking on Instagram. Viewers have gotten big rent money in New Jersey. Um, I can't see the whole screen. Let me do it this way. Um, Missouri, yes, Missouri, rent in St. Louis and utilities across the entire state of Missouri. Entire state of Missouri. Arizona, I covered it. That's New Leaf. Why did New Jersey say it ran out already? Please check. Um, because the viewers may be getting it from the nonprofits. I mean, I've been doing these recordings now for 2 weeks, so what the viewer may have gotten paid for in rent in New Jersey may have run out. But what I'm always telling viewers is that there's a lot of places to look. So don't start with one place. And I say this every recording. It's almost like a broken record. If someone on the phone tells you it's run out, don't stop. There's some people that just really give up very easily. They get a no and they just close the door and they just put their feet up and they say, I'm done. If someone tells you no, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It may be no for that organization, but it may be somewhere else. And so when I heard San Bernardino County has a housing authority, I'm like, what housing authority in San Bernardino County? There's a county housing authority, and it's like, yeah. So there's always something else. Um, I have yet to have someone tell me that they have looked city, county, state, housing authority, and similar, going through all my permutations, and then use the volunteers and have locked and gone to a dead end. I've yet to see anyone that went all through the steps and said dead end. Um, it's just turning in now. What's the house done now? I don't know. They haven't done anything. Anything in South Dakota? I don't know about South Dakota specifically yet. Oh, if anyone is in the room and they've had success stories on getting rent that we can share with anyone else and help them get rent, share that now because I always forgot to start with that. Where is the help in Missouri? Utilities. Every single county of Missouri has utilities, and St. Louis has the rent. Do you think President Trump will do executive orders? No. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Uh, oh, now the chats. Oh my God, there's a lot of people. Is Trump? Trump is not using executive. I don't think Trump's going to do executive order. I, you know, Alabama State Housing Authority. Is help coming before Christmas? Hard to tell with these people. What has the Temple of Doom gone and done now? It's not her. It's the tomb of the tombie. Well, we get the $200 of SSI and SSDI in 2001. That's what Joe was representing. Yes, absolutely. That's what he's telling you. Oh, there was another question that was good about that. Let me see that. For the SSI and SSDI, the extra $200 we get a month. Does it start in January, February? Um, that's a great question. It should start in January retro, but I don't think they can get it to a bill by. I mean, they could get to a bill in January. It depends on how quickly these people really want to move, but it would likely land in February. But they could do it retroactive. Ohio, yeah, I covered Ohio early in this video. I think that was United Way. I think Ohio was United Way. If you're just tuning in and you're wondering about your particular state and you did not hear it, this video will be archived shortly after it's live, and then you can watch it again. Just refresh the screen and press play. Also, I repeat the same state and the relief, and I give you more updates as I hear about more as each day. So make sure you go to the Friends channel, subscribe, also hit the alert button so you hit alert when I go live, and then also like this video so that if you did not hear your state and or look, let's say you looked tonight, you did hear your state, you look, you have more questions, then you can come back tomorrow and ask me more questions as well. Washington State. Viewers have gotten rent in Washington State. I don't know where from. Um, how are you? I'm good, thank you. Any new news on the stimulus bill? Yes, I started the whole first 10 minutes of the video on what's happening with the what's happening with stimulus check. But also watch Evening's Check if you're wanting more updates about what happened with the check tonight in Washington. Watch Evening's Check, which broadcast right before this video. With that, thank you for tonight's recording. I forgot to ask people where they were from. So disrespectful I was. It was awful. It was horrible. I just ask you where you're from. Anyway, I will do that tomorrow. I gotta remember to take care of all my international viewers and my domestic. So, with that, have a great evening. Thank you for tuning in. Don't miss Evening's Check, which aired right before this broadcast. And I'll also see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for early mornings LA, followed by 6:30 a.m. Oh, there's Japan. Mike from Japan. Well, wow. Moscow. Mike and wait, how many people? I thought someone just said Japan, then they're in Moscow. There we go. A lot of people everywhere. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay in LA for more.